All right. Hello, everyone. It's Apollo 8 time. December's here, and so the old Christmas flight is here. We're sat at T minus 18 minutes, 25-ish seconds. To lift off here aboard the Saturn V launch vehicle. This will be a flight to orbit the moon, doing some landmark sighting. No lunar landing on this flight, of course. It is Apollo 8. Apollo 11 is the first mission for lunar landings. So no lunar landing this flight, but it is the flight that took us around for Christmas. So I figured it would just be a nice little thing to do for December, before we get back into 10, some more space shuttle and all of that jazz. Thanks for stopping by, Arco. We're just gonna preemptively turn these integral lights up. Real quick before we start, RTCC or no RTCC? We've got to make a decision by the time we reach orbit insertion. So I think I will go and put up a poll here. RTCC or no RTCC. This is a la manually mathed out burns or not. It will take time, of course, to do those types of things manually, but I've gotten pretty good at it over a few practices, so throw it in there, let me know, and by the time we hit orbit insertion, we'll see. All right, coming up on T minus 15 minutes here. We'll go ahead and get our final switch position set for the spacecraft stabilization and control system. Verifying FTAI-1 total attitude should be roll 90 plus azimuth. We've got roll 90 plus an azimuth here. That looks good. Pitch at 90, we see the 9 here, and yaw at 0. We see that nice thick black line there. She's just a little bit off, but that slight amount of gyro drift amounts to nothing for us, so we can go ahead and set that as verified. BMEGs to rate 1. BMEGs are our body-mounted attitude gyro here. They're responsible for giving us rate needles, as well as some very limited attitude control when we're on our SCS, a la our backup maneuvering system, which really is not right to say that it's a backup. It is the backup, but we will be using it a lot for just general purpose attitude maneuvers. Setting up our rotational hand control direct power. We'll give a voice check. Emergency detection system will be set to auto at this time. If any failures were to occur that meet the conditions of a 2-engine out or a excessive angle of attack, we will automatically have an abort prior to abort mode 1 Charlie. RCS command off, ensuring no spontaneous RCS fire as a result of the hand controller vibrating during launch. If we do abort, however, we could see here that we can set the abort system to RCS command with the RCS logic on. and this RCS command in. So these two circuit breakers here, and this set to RCS command for abort mode 1 Bravo. We will actually activate RCS command with the hand controller. So at that point, then if we need to abort, we will automatically get RCS command without any action to the astronauts, as RCS will be required at that point in time. So no worries, we will have control if control is required, but we do turn that off just because the vibration in the launch. We don't want to be firing those jets and wasting fuel. Yeah, holiday mission. Holiday mission, celebrating the 1968 flight of Apollo 8. This, of course, was the flight which happened pretty shortly after the Martin Luther King assassination, as well as the JFK assassination, both happening in, or excuse me, not JFK, RFK assassinations, both happening in 1968 at the same time. Huge riots as a result of the Democratic National Convention. A lot of worldwide rioting. We saw, people burning down buildings in France, in Spain. They were burning the U.S. flag. Smoke grenades, tear gas, police brutality against citizens. All kinds of riots happening in 1968. And dare I say that this was the flight that sort of rekindled mankind's spirit, if you will. 1968 was one of the most cataclysmic years of the 1960s, and possibly the most cataclysmic year since World War II started. So, this flight is an extremely important flight, both for the program, but also for mankind as a whole. T-minus 10 minutes here, and we will go and latch our fuel cells in their respective positions. This fuel cell react valves latch switch will latch any fuel cells whose react valves are open into the open position, and any fuel cells whose react valves are closed into the closed position. The vibrations from the launch, we don't want any spontaneous fuel cell shutdowns during the launch, as this could hinder our ability to perform our mission. But we also don't want, if there were, we do this for other staging sequences out in space, if we did have a fuel cell shutdown, we don't want to open those react valves back up, because we don't want to be wasting those consumables inside a dead fuel cell, which can't put out any electrical power. So, very important switch there. We use it, not very often, but it is still one of the most important switches in the spacecraft. A lot of switches here are very circumstantial, will only be used, like, literally one time. Like, all of these switches here, all of these switches here, like, a lot of things are extremely circumstantial. Some of the stuff isn't even touched, but it's all extremely, extremely important. So, yeah, 68 was a shit show, to say the least. T-minus 6 minutes. Our thrust vector control servos set on AC1 and main A crosstie, and number 2 on AC2 and main B crosstie. The stabilization control system, thrust vector control servos, are responsible for, they're basically tiny little motors, exactly like in the IMU, and they'll measure the torque as the engine fires. If the engine is firing, we do trim it for center of gravity, but of course we have a limited capability of getting it so perfect through that center of gravity that we don't need any gimbaling at all. So the system is responsible for detecting the torque induced by the thrust of the spacecraft. And if that torque becomes an attitude motion where we start to deviate in pitch or in yaw, those servos will register that torque and they'll instruct the gimbal motors on how to move. So if you really think about it, it is just motors telling motors what to do, and all of that is hardwired. There is no computer controlling the SCS logic at that point. If we are on CMC, we'll be using the computer's primary logic and its own sensors, but the SCS is an incredibly effective way of maintaining attitude control for a burn. It has been rigorously tested in Apollo 7 and Apollo 9, and she works flawlessly. We flew 7 on the channel. We did not fly 9. We're in the midst of flying 10 just because that was the voted mission. But I decided to put a cap on it for some December Christmas time, you know, little tradition. And there we go, our emergency detection system interfacing with the booster at this time. We've got our launch vehicle engine status lights on. These lights indicate a fault with the engine. We are not in the powered phase of flight, so of course, naturally, as the engines are not lit and running, they are reading as faulty. 100% normal until about T-minus 7.5 seconds, when they have accumulated or start accumulating thrust. We will read, you know, 1 and 3, then 4 and 2, and then 5, very rapidly turning off as they reach at least 95% thrust. If all engines do not read at least 95% of rated thrust, an automatic shutdown will be issued by the ground launch sequencer. T-minus 3 minutes, and we are approaching the auto sequence. Verify program 2, verb 75, and do not enter. Our tape recorder, a la our sort of black box, will set to forward. Tape motion gray. For those not in the know, the signal for a liftoff for the mission elapsed timer, for the digital event timer in its center position here is the automatic mode, and the computer to start program 11 and the CMC's liftoff time to start and this liftoff time to get issued, all of that runs because a data umbilical is ejected from the spacecraft on liftoff. It's launching, and then when it starts moving up, that umbilical is ripped out, and we would get that liftoff signal. If for whatever reason that liftoff signal is not delivered as a result of the ejection of the umbilical there, we will hit the enter with verb 75, and that will run program 11 and issue the liftoff signal done manually by the astronaut. And at which point in orbit we will downlink the CMC liftoff time, as human reaction time, of course, is not perfect, and that will increment the real-time computer complex to adjust for all of that later on down the line. T-minus 1 minute 15 seconds, we can get our main bus ties on here. Don't worry about these injector valves. I did install the update, but I installed it actually on the other install of NASP I have. I just forgot to install the update that patches that over to this. I have 2 installs, one for streaming and one for my own personal use, so I just oversight on my part. Okay, GDC align, push and hold, null motion, and release. T-minus 35 seconds to the start of Apollo 8. T-minus 30. GDC align, release. Go for launch, Raj. So people do not want to see manually mathed out RTCC maneuvers.
9. We have ignition sequence start. The engines are on. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we go.
0. We have
Liftoff.
We have liftoff. Liftoff.
Yaw maneuvers in.
51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, yaw maneuver is complete. Tower evasion is complete. Clear the tower. Roll and pitch program.
Roger. Landing here, Houston. Land clear.
Okay, stand by for mode 1 Bravo. Mark, mode 1 Bravo. Angle of attack looks great, and we show cabin relieving. And acquisition over Grand Bahama. Real quick, let's get in preparation for staging. Let's get PCM bitrate to low, so that we can watch that from the outside. No hard math. Oh, it's not hard math. It's, you know, it's all done by a computer, but I would be controlling the computer. So I guess people they don't want the time delay to look at. They're like, I don't want to look at those fancy screens. I don't know what's going on. I just want to see the flight. And you know what? All power to you. Mode 1 Charlie. Here we go. Mode 1 Charlie is in. EDS is manual. Monitoring engine thrust or engine chamber pressure. Inboard engine.
I'm on board, got him.
Okay, our boost polynomial here is coming up at an end. Staging will be very shortly here. Okay, position and velocity checks look good. H dot is great. Height is great. All is good. And there's the staging. And ignition. Thrust looks go. Okay, coming up on tower jet, or excuse me, skirt sep that is. All right, skirt sep, tower's gone.
Roger, tower.
In the wise words of Buzz Aldrin, yeah, they finally gave me a window to look out. Okay. Sequential events control system disarmed. We are mode 2. Let's get that evaporator going here. And let's get some light on the subject. Acquisition over the Bermuda. G's look good. Four minutes, 20 seconds, and we are go. Coming up on 4 minutes, 30 seconds. We're a little high, actually, on H. H dot is looking great, but our altitude is a little high. Velocity is tracking. And we are up. Oh, there we go. We should be having some steering convergence very shortly. I'm still sort of in the gravity turn here, but I do think we've got some guidance going now. Always did think that the S2 and S4B stage together looked a little bit weird, since the S2 is such a little short stage. This short and fat stage. Thought it always looked funny. Let's get Omni Delta. Go at 6 minutes. Let's take a look. Oops. 6 minutes here. Well, it's still a little high on altitude. Oh, you know what? I know why. This is for Apollo 15. God, get that out of here. That's assuming we've got a lemon toe. We don't have a lemon toe, so that would explain a lot. Alright, it looks to me like the people have spoken. Here we will not be doing RTCC for this mission. Alright, the people have spoken. They want us just to focus on the flying. Raj. Coming up on 2 Gs now. And PU shift in about 5 seconds. I time traveled an incorrect cue card. Yep. Oh, there's PU shift. And we've met the horizon. Our gravity turn is complete. So terminal guidance will initiate on this booster now. And we see terminal guidance is initiated. Level sense arm coming up at 8+05. Mark, level sense arm, and we are go for staging. Staging sequence has started. There will be no inboard engine cutout on this stage. This is a completely pogo prevention free staging here, so further data from future missions will require there to be an inboard engine out on that second stage in the future, but for now, we've got no pogo suppression in this stage. And there's staging, and we've got a good ignition on that third stage. And steering converge immediately. That's what we like to see. There goes the S2. Yeah, this looks a much more reasonable than the S2, S4 combination. T+9 minutes, 30 seconds. In 20 seconds, we will have abort mode 4. Velocity now currently 23,559 feet per second. Our height delta over time is minus 8.4 feet per second, and our current altitude 104.3 nautical miles high. And we are mode 4 capability. We'll bring up our verb 82, noun 50. Standing by for cutoff. DFF looks great. Time is increasing. Okay, here we go. Shut down. TFF 5959, we are full orbital. Insertion complete. Okay, ascent propulsion system, fine-tuning our orbital insertion here. And non-propulsive venting has started, relieving tank pressures now. Get gimbal motors off. Very slowly so as not to disturb our DC bus there. Main bus ties off. Thrust vector control servos off. Flight recorder off. Tape motion, barber pull. Key release. Okay. Velocity 25,558 feet per second. And average altitude 103.6. Okay, write the launch into our backup state vector slot. And we'll go ahead and we will start our digital autopilot, assuming the booster attached, of course. Proceed, proceed, proceed. Verb 46, enter. Verb 83, enter. Register 1 should equal register 2, which should equal 0, especially because we have no target vehicle for this mission, so that will be remaining true for, well, the entire mission. Entry landing system is manual, CM RCS logic off. We'll have the cabin pressure relief valves set to their flight condition, and the repress package isolated. And we can go ahead and open the circuit breakers on our entry landing system and post-landing vents. We will close direct O2, shut off the translation hand controller, and we'll just take a look at tank pressures. We read good tank pressure there. SM RCS heaters on. We will isolate our command module RCS propellant, as there is no longer any circumstance in which we will be aborting and not running through the nominal deorbit procedures. So no need for those to be open at this time. We are in orbit, so we will take away from boosts and go to normal. Actuator handle to neutral. And we will get our waste dump heaters for the urine and the water plugged in. Fuel cell react valves normal. And we'll begin heating up the H2 purge line. Thank you, thank you. Just doing a quick check of our RCS here. No reason at all for there to be any discrepancies, especially considering that this is a historical flight which did not have any RCS failures. So we will be reading nominal conditions through our RCS readings. 100% of course, and command module RCS reading a good pre-pressurization condition. Lamp check. Looking good. Okay, press regulator check. Good. We'll use our telepathy here. Or excuse me, our telekinesis here to push those buttons. Of course, this would be done with one person looking at the gauge and the other at the controls. So you wouldn't have to be doing any cheeky things like that. But alas, no multiplayer, so this is what we are stuck with. Let's get our sex logic off. That is Sequential Event Control System, SECS. And we'll go ahead and save our pyros too. Doesn't say to, but we will assume that they mean that. Pull for suit circuit return. And that'll begin purging the suit loop. SCS direct ullage. We'll go ahead and open. And we'll perform the radiator secondary radiator leak check here. Okay. Stable. Alright, propulsive venting has now started on the S4B. This is just low pressure venting, but they're both facing the same direction, so this is a propulsive vent, something that does impact our orbit over time. If they're facing into each other, sort of in opposite directions, if you will, the thrust gets canceled out, but if they're both facing the same direction, or if they're facing opposite directions but not into each other, one would impart the opposite directions but not through each other, would impart attitude changes, and then both being in the same direction imparts a translational change, as you might have guessed just based on this this footage here. So over time this does affect our orbit, but it's something that we factor for ahead of time. Go ahead and bypass the glycol reservoir. Primary accumulator quantity is good. We can go ahead and establish radiator flow. Flow controller is on. And push. We've got good flow. A slight drop in the accumulator quantity, but a nominal drop at that. Get our radiator heaters on. And the temperature controller here to auto. We will install the COAS, something that is done prior, or something that is not installed prior to launch, as it runs the risk of coming off and smacking an astronaut in the head. Which actually, that almost killed Al Bean on Apollo 12. So it may sound funny, but it is potentially deadly. Although it was a camera and not the COAS, it's a little bit heavier. It still is a potentially deadly and serious thing if it hits you in the center of your forehead. Possibly very dangerous. We'll need our potable water to not be ice, so naturally that heater, and we'll get some cabin fans going. There's that sound we all love. The sound that I compete with to be louder than all the time. Okay, cryo pressures and cryo quantities are looking good. Fuel cell inline heaters are on. Fuel cell radiator talkback's normal. pH is normal. Fuel cell radiator temp is normal. flow rate's good. Module temperature, condensate exchange, and skin temperatures are good. All 3 cells are in the green. With fuel cell 3 just barely, but she's still good. Okay, so fuel cell power plant looks good. DC output on that power plant. The 3 fuel cell buses look good. The 2 main buses look good. The 2 battery buses look good. The battery charger bus is not in use, so of course that looks good. The battery C looks good, and the 2 pyro buses, which are currently unpowered. We will go ahead and power those. The 2 pyro buses look good. For Bravo, battery relay bus looks good. Our battery manifold pressure is, of course, reading a sea level pressure as a result of us being at sea level and then launching to space. So we'll go ahead and vent that manifold down to 0. But this is really important that this is maintained less than 1.5 volts throughout the mission. The batteries, as they're being discharged and as they're being charged, will begin to very slowly put off hydrogen gas, pure hydrogen gas. So when that hits above a certain pressure, we need to make sure that we vent that to mitigate risks of an explosion in the battery compartment. Let's check our AC power plant via the inverters here. And all 3 phases on both buses are good. We've already done the check of these gauges here as a part of the power plant check. These 2 gauges look good. These 2 are good. These 2 are good. These 2 are good. This is a little bit high, but we are doing the CO2 purge out of the suit loop at the time being, so we do expect that compressor delta pressure to be reading some funny readings, but otherwise accumulator looks great. The potable and the waste look good. Temperatures are great. Pressure is great. CO2 partial pressure, that may look high to you, but the scale changes right here, so this is great. This is like 3, and that's nominal. Okay, service propulsion system. Temperature is great. Helium pressure is good. Fuel and oxidizer pressures are good. Let's get the N2 pressure check here. N2 bottle A is good. N2 bottle B is also good. Injector valves will presume close as a graphical glitch. Again, I forgot to install the update to this folder, so I apologize on that. Other than that, SPS PUG readouts look good here. Oxidizer unbalance readout looks good. And our helium valves are good, so SPS is go. Yeah, the CO2 scale. When that got implemented in NASP, sort of everyone that wasn't in on that update kind of got thrown for a loop, and I remember the day they made that update, actually. GDC is, of course, slightly misaligned, but it is nothing that we'll be able to make more accurate whilst attached to the booster, as the booster is actually performing a maneuver. It looks like it's still, but it's not. It's holding the horizon, and since the Earth curves, the booster must maintain a constant pitch rate to follow that curve GDC line. If it's greater than 5 degrees, we'll correct it, but if it's less than that, it's something that we'll just end up messing up. So we're not going to touch it. BMAG's rate 2, and we'll go ahead and install our ordeal. Oh god, here we go. Math. I hope you guys are ready. Everyone loves math. 106.4 plus 102.2 divided by 2 reaches us 104.3. So the same reading that we had on orbital insertion. That's good. So we'll just gently nudge that to be just shy under 105. We are in X scene here. We will proceed and we'll get us a verb 83 and obtain our pitch angle down to local vertical, local horizontal. And actually we're going to put orbit rate on bolt too, so that we can see both of these at an perfect 0-degree pitch here. That's you can't ask for any better performance out the apps here. So booster and the apps are that's actually something else. Okay, switch to the other suit compressor. Our purge is nearing completion here, so our O2 flow is coming down. That's really good. We did already do a main regulator check as part of the post-insertion, so I'm actually going to go ahead and skip that in the interest of we wouldn't get any useful information out of that right now, as our transducer is currently preoccupied measuring the CO2 purge out of the suit loop. We will go ahead and start the secondary cooling system here. Good pump discharge pressure and good steam pressure here. So we are reading some evaporative cooling, and we should see cooling effect on our glycol evaporator temperature outlet. There we go. We do see good effect there. That's great. We'll run this test for 5 minutes, ensuring there's no accumulator leak. And we've got good logic here on our temperature system. Soon as the temperature hits the point, the steam pressure will fluctuate, and we'll get a stronger evaporative cooling, leading to a decrease in the temperature. So we see good effect there. Reset, and the reset just moves that that pressure control valve to a fixed position, and that will after a minute we'll have accumulated a certain temperature to be able to switch off the evaporator and switch off the pump there. So of course the steam pressure goes high as there is no longer any sublimation occurring, and therefore no more steam, so it's run solid with water effectively, and as you know, water is more dense than steam, so the pressure will read high, just due to the monitoring equipment that we have. But our pump discharge pressure is coming down. We do see that pump roll down, so that's good there. So good ECS effects there. And we'll go ahead and switch off our secondary water controller here. So open the coolant attenuation control panel, set secondary from auto to off, and we're acquisition over to nanoread. Purge checks now. These are always fun. I like the purge check. Okay, purge checks complete. Purge checks are good, so we will maintain healthy fuel cells throughout the duration of the mission. Let's go ahead and reset our entry monitoring system and get our guidance navigation optics powered up. Okay, OHC max right. We confirm sextant dust cover jettison. We can install the caps on our G meter and the cap on our altimeter. All right. Now we're pretty much just waiting on the sun here to take our P-52. So how's everyone going so far? I know the orbital insertions, a lot of talking, a lot of procedures, maybe not super exciting, that orbital insertion procedure, but just bear with us. In a couple minutes, the show will get interesting again. Despite all that, still a beautiful sunset. And this is one of two that we will be seeing in this mission. If you don't count the lunar entry, of course. Okay. All right, star 4. Let's see what you got. That's Akamar. Ah, star 15 is next, so be very careful. Because the code confirming star acquisition is also 15, so just some of the things you got to be a little bit careful for. Oh, Sirius, we love Sirius. 5 balls, sports fans. 5 balls on the IMU align. We show 0.256 degrees off in pitch, 0.098 degrees off in 0.256 degrees off in roll, 0.098 degrees off in pitch, and minus 0.18 degrees off in yaw. I apologize for the mix-up here. Had some Apollo 5 earlier, so caught up in the LEM readouts, if you will. Let's go ahead and accept now 93 and torque the IMU, so we'll just hit proceed on the computer, but I'm going to zoom in because I never get a good shot of this. Boop, there you go. That's what all that star marking is for. Okay, verb 37, enter, 00, enter, verb 46, and optics power off. There's the last bit of the sunset. We are approaching everyone's least favorite check of orbital insertion, the SCS attitude reference comparison check. We currently show us orbiting above sort of the southern tip of Australia here. Actually just riding over the ocean, and we'll be crossing land now. Coming up over Honeysuckle, actually. Honeysuckle, Australia. Alright, goodbye Australia. Here's another little island of Oceania. That pretty much completes us. We're out of Oceania now, and swinging us back around here towards Hawaii. The sunset will be approaching right as we cross California. And when we cross the sort of lower tip of California, we'll hit Mexico. And right when we touch Mexico, we will be getting that sunrise. So good times, good times. Coming up on our SCS attitude reference comparison check. I'll try and blow through this one very quickly, so it's everyone's least favorite. Still an important check to do, though. Mark. Good. Mark. Good. Okay, we are coming up on our first pad here. We'll be getting our TLI plus 90-minute abort pad and a state vector update from the grounds up data link unit, the UDL unit. This unit is pretty interesting. It's sort of a tape with holes punched in, and that gets run through a feeder, and those pulses get transmitted here to our spacecraft. Acquisition Wymus and Vandenberg. And as I said, we are hitting Mexico right now, and that is the sunrise. Corpus Christi. Beautiful forests beneath us, beautiful rainforests beneath us. And immediately fading into desert. Good mountains, though. Real good mountains. Okay. Wecan has pad. TLI plus 90 abort pad. And let's get our spacecraft update here. Okay, uplink complete. Coming up on our TLI plus 4-hour abort pad. Very shortly, we'll be building up tank pressure again, shutting off our reliefs, building up tank pressure for our boost ignition pressure, and getting that go for TLI. TLI plus 4 hours abort pad. And we've got acquisition over the United States naval ship Vandenberg. T plus 1 hour, 46 minutes. Loss of signal Bermuda. Thread started. TLI pad is in. Time base 6 is programmed at 2 hours, 40 minutes, 57 seconds. Roll pitch and yaw of 179.4501. Burn time will be 5 minutes, 16 seconds with an imparted delta V of 10,503.7, compensated for thrust cutoff. Velocity at insertion will be 35,555 feet per second, which is more than 25 times faster than a 9mm bullet. Roll pitch and yaw for separation will be 357.081.002 and remarks a 10-minute abort pitch of 199 degrees. We are clear to start TLI checklist no earlier than 2 hours and 15 minutes due to consumable reasons. So we'll go ahead and continue along time skipping here at T plus 1 hour and approaching 50 minutes. So we've got the go for TLI at this point. We've lost some signal over United States naval ship Vandenberg. And acquisition at Canaries. So I hope you guys are ready. Because I certainly am, and we will be on our way to the moon very shortly. All we need to do is get over the hill here and reach the opposite side of the Earth. Once we're on the opposite side of the Earth to that moon, we'll begin thrusting. As any space aficionado would know, a thrust affects the opposite side of your orbit in your prograde and retrograde positions. So we've got to trek all the way around to where the moon will be in 4 days and light our engine there. So should be a good point. Opposite side of where the moon will be in 4 days, light the engines, and drift all along. Sounds easy, but it's not. That type of calculation can be pretty difficult. But not with RTCC, it's not. I just click TLI and she's already ready, so good stuff. Let me go ahead and get that out of your way there. It's not that important just yet. Tanana Reeves got us. All right, take one last good look at the Earth here. Last sunset for this mission. All right, we are clear to start. Procedures for translunar injection. Entry monitoring system Delta V tests coming in. This test ensures if we need cutoff via the stabilization control system, we will get it from the EMS interacting with said stabilization control system. An important test. DV set, and we'll just use the little cheat there to get it right up to 10,000 for us. 10,503.7. Okay, GDC is as good as she can be at this point. SCS is set. DET, stop, reset. Oops. 51 minutes is in. Oh, not those. Those, there we go. Okay, monitoring for time base 6 initiate. That starts in about 40 minutes. There are some hearts in the chat if you are ready to see the Earth shrink. Sunset. We're over the hill now. Coming up on ignition. Just taking it in one final time for this mission. The city lights really are beautiful. Unfortunately, they don't stretch out all the way to the moon, so we will not be seeing the city lights anymore very shortly. Coming up on time base 6 initiate, Houston gives us the go for TLI. Orbit rate is continuing to trek good. We've got good orbit, or good TLI burn attitude here. And our clock is ready for that time base 6 warning light. Mark, T-minus 9 minutes to ignition. Time base 6 is initiated. Spacecraft control is SCS. Tank pressure, delta pressure, less than 36. Oxidizer greater than fuel. There we go. We could see the vents now shut off. We are accumulating pressure for the final boost. At this point, we'll get our seats installed. Okay. External Delta V monitoring program start. She'll take about 35 seconds to enter average G mode before we get the DSKY display. Oh, there we go. Bird 46. Okay. Now in 62, T minus 2 minutes to ignition. EMS is on. S2 sup light on. Ullage initiate. Ullages go. And we see ullage reflected on the EMS. Ullage effect is good. Okay, 59:42. S2 sup light off. Fuel is leading. Ignition is primed. Ullage will complete at 59:55. Good luck and Godspeed, Apollo 8. So long, Earth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Thrusters go. Yaws in, steering is good. Guidance is initiated properly, steering's converged. 10,000 feet per second to go. Enjoy the ride, everyone. Shut down. Hold attitude is in. S4B is venting. Goodbye, Earth. Okay. Program 47's terminated. Boost data is written to our state vector. Look at that. And that was the final sunrise of the mission, which you saw out the window during the TLI boost. It was so beautiful, I didn't even want to talk during TLI. Just wanted to look at that one last sunrise. Of course, well, I guess there'll be sunrises and sunsets over the moon, but it's just not the same. This is just that band, that orange faded to black, the purple and the blue. It's just Earth just hits different. It's true. Earth hits different. I said it. Oh, I wish I could watch this for longer, but we've got stuff to do. So. Okay, roll minus 60. That gives us plus. That's plus 297. Pitch plus 180. $261. And 360 minus 2 is obviously 358. We don't need any calculator for that. We don't really need a calculator for any of these, but I just want to be, you know, perfect, since if these angles are wrong, it can really suck. Coming up on TLI plus 15 here in a couple minutes. We're at the point where we get to watch. So we'll go ahead and enter global frame. Hello, hello, Hein. Oh, welcome in. This is only 10 seconds per second. And look at how fast we're moving. It really just gives you an idea of our relative velocity here. It's quite crazy, actually. Okay, maneuver started. Maneuvering to our separation attitude here. We'll go ahead and watch this. It's such so beautiful. I'll just go ahead and shut up while we watch this maneuver. I'll be back to get some water though. All right, and this would have been our Revolution 3, our third orbit here. Okay, slowing down. We are reaching our separation attitude here. The only thing that is left to complete is, I believe, a slight roll action. Otherwise, we are perfectly in our attitude at this point. Wait non-roll, and then we can begin securing the ordeal. Powering up the RCS and performing separation. Okay, roll looks to be fixed now. Yep, that's looking pretty good. We'll wait for TLI plus 20 here as some final stabilizing is complete. Okay, let's secure ordeal. Ordeal secured. Oh, okay, alright. Fine. I see. All on main A. I forgot. Apollo 8's weird like that. All on main bus A. That's fine. TVC, servo. Okay, CMC auto. Coas power on. DET stop reset. 58 minutes. Rate low. Okay, verb 60. Enter. Verb 63, so enter display mode 3. Okay, DET counting up, and let's just enter that verb 63 again, just to make sure that that went through. Okay, 59:30. Flight recorder forward. Tape recorder forward off, actually. PCM bit rate, we'll keep it low. Tape recorder forward. There we go. EMS function delta V. Okay, bam, 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 bam. Alright, counterclockwise. Mark.
Houston, we've got good separation.
Translation.
Yeah, that's really something else. That's a wicked fast maneuver. Yeah, that's Apollo 8's TD well, there is no docking, but Apollo 8's transposition is one of the most like impressive things that I've witnessed in the Apollo program. It's such a fast maneuver.
Rotation. Translation.
And we're stationary. Okay. Let's just go ahead and make sure I'm not drifting towards it. And we'll give ourselves one pulse aft there. One pulse down. There we go. Okay. EDS power off. Tape recorder forward off. Tape recorder forward, back to forward. It's weird how it makes us do that. Non-essential bus off. Emergency detection system, we can go ahead and open those up. SPS, pitch and yaw motors, circuit breakers open. High gain antenna. Close, close. We can go ahead and stow the seats. And power up the high gain antenna. Open up our pyro sequence breakers. Shut off logic. And at this point we would conduct photography of the inside of the booster here. Oh, look at that, one of the slot panels. Gorgeous. Okay, we will not be impacting that booster there. That's really good. We want to make sure that that is, you know, not the case as we look out the window and enjoy the view. Okay, maneuver to local vertical plus X towards the Earth. Maintain S4B in CDR window. So here we are going to go rotation, and we're going to pitch down. let's go Excel command for this. Pitch down, yaw left. Here's the Earth. And we'll be getting acquisition of the booster out of that hatch window very shortly. Hopefully. Assuming we've done this correctly, we'll probably need to roll a little bit as well. But we've got a good pitch and a good yaw here. Now we will attempt to roll to acquire the booster. Small roll right. Okay, booster acquired. Okay, let's begin CSM booster evasive maneuver.
Translation.
Proceed 0-0.
Rotation.
Sounds good. Okay, CMP DOF PGA. So it's command module pilot. Power off. Suit power off. Left hand suit flow valve. Cabin flow. And then let's keep a track here on the booster. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Oh man, yeah, definitely gotta enjoy that view, because she is not gonna last. We're immediately going to get thrown into some P-52 and P-23s, and this will be a great time. Verb 67, let's go ahead and reinitialize our W matrix for preparation for P-23. Now, I'm only gonna do a few, because I hate P-23, and so does everyone else, and also, you know, people might be epileptic, so we're just gonna do one. We'll do one, and then I'll let the people with epilepsy know when they're able to or when they should leave and when they should come back. Like when they should look away and when they should come back. Okay, good star acquisition. So beautiful. Another photo. Sorry, I've just taken a lot of photos. But this is like, you know, it's one of those things that's just like so pretty, you just can't help it, really. Okay. Let's go ahead and stabilize here. Let's see here. MCC update, ground track determination, begin PTC. We do get an MCC1 decision. Alright. Yeah, rest period doesn't start for a really long time. Then 7 hours, then we get an MCC1 decision, and then we do some more P23. We are gonna skip those. And then, yeah, rest period technically starts after the wastewater dump. We get a little, like, 5-hour rest period. We wait, terminate PTC, do more P23. Oh god. I forgot how terrible Apollo 8 is for this, and there is no rest period for the entire translunar coast. Wow, okay. So we'll just have to make our our own cutoff point here for the stream. Okay, P52. We'll get our stars acquired here. Needs more P23s. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. This mission is so loaded with P23, it is actually ridiculous. Yeah, this mission does not need more P23. If anyone likes P23, they're crazy. Shame on you for even recommending that. You know what you're doing, and it gives everyone a headache. The flashing. Oh, and I gotta put up an epilepsy warning for P23. Absolutely. We're gonna do one in Translunar Coast, and we'll, unfortunately, because of P37s, we'll have to do more than one on Trans-Earth Coasts. We'll get one good mark for every P37. This is going to be such a pain. The most hated thing about Apollo 8. I love Apollo 8, but this makes me not love Apollo 8. P23s. Painful. I'm sure, you know, in real life... Oh wow, that actually got more aligned following that little optics stuff we did. In real life, this was a lot less annoying because you had a mirror instead of a flashing screen. Yeah. Just a few more photos. 3 marks on star 14. No, don't do this to me. 2 sets, 3 marks on star 15, so 6 marks on star 15. These people are crazy. There's no other explanation. They can't be doing this to me. This is suffering. Don't make me do it, Car Destroyer. Don't make me do it. In the wise words of Terry Boeing, P-23, P-23. I hate you, P-23. That's not actually what he said, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, we are no longer going to be holding this orientation, so very last photo here. And let's start. We'll do 1 set of P-23s. We'll do it until we get a good mark, and after that, I'm done with P-23 until Trans-Earth Coast. I hate it so much. So, we'll do 1, just so you guys can see what it's like. But take one last good look out the window, and when you're done, let me know. Let me know when you've captured this moment here. I've slowed down time so you can really capture it. When you're done taking in the beauty, we can start P-23, and I will follow it, or proceed it rather, with an epilepsy warning. If you have epilepsy, please look away once we have acquired the Earth in the horizon. Or once we've acquired the Earth in the sextant, please look away from the screen, and I'll let you know when you can come back. But, everyone's ready. I think this is time. Go ahead and enter real time again, and let's start P-23s. Yeah, they stopped doing them, mostly because they realized that, it really wasn't as accurate as they thought. Star 14, no landmark code, and this will be, Earth near horizon. Okay, we are clear for the auto maneuver. Go ahead and proceed to accept auto maneuver. Auto maneuver request is processing. Proceed to accept the request. So long, beautiful view. I'll miss you, because I'll never be able to locate that view ever again. But that's okay. We do get another beautiful view through the power of the sextant. So, it's not all that all bad. Seeing the Earth through the sextant is really cool. A new state vector uplinked when one is needed. Oh, of course, of course. New state vectors are always uplinked to, because P-23 is shit. When they realized it in, like, the middle of this mission, that P-23 is, like, actually not that good. Like, really only helpful in the worst of emergency scenarios. Okay, let's go ahead and take manual control here, and we will go ahead and try and find that horizon. Now, I'm guesstimating the star point to be, it is near horizon. I'm guesstimating it to be about right there. The subsolar point, that is, to be about right here. And we'll go ahead and stabilize it on min-imp. Okay, and we are clear to take a first optics calibration mark. Proceed. And we'll drive to acquire. Okay, at this point, anyone with epilepsy, please look away from the screen. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I was wrong about the substellar point here. It's going to be a little bit more down. Mark. Ah, get that out of here. All right. Let's see how we did. That's not a bug. That's not a bug. All right. Those with epilepsy, you are more than welcome to view again. Let's see how we do. Beautiful marks. Beautiful marks. That's what it's about right there. That is a perfect P23. Delta R is great. Oh my gosh. Delta R is literally one of the best I've ever seen it. Delta V is great. Delta R is great. Perfect P23. Yeah, I know, the zero flag. Sorry, I just wanted to take a moment to get a look at the Earth here. Like, let's see what we can see. You know, it looks good from here. Those high-res textures really doing some work from this distance. That looks amazing. Looking at Mexico here, is California. There's the peninsula of Mexico, and there's Mexico itself, which is a giant peninsula, and look at that. The canal there, and we've got South America, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We will, of course, be accepting this mark. And that is enough P23 for the day. Like I told you, they're terrible to sit through. Actually god-awful. Yeah, that is not a bug. That is an intended feature because you have to overlay a star on the substellar point of the horizon, so a completely intended feature. TLI plus 11 purpose, as you could see, Remarks, no ullage, fast return, P-37 Delta V equals 7900 for Indian Ocean, high-speed procedure not required, assumes no mid-course correction 1. So that probably means that we'll be getting an MCC-1 burn here. Let's go ahead and do our ground track determination. This is for the CSM, so we'll just go ahead and proceed on that. At an hour, or at the time of 69 hours, 10 minutes, and 0 seconds, we want to determine our latitude, longitude, and altitude. Our altitude is going to be a little bit funny because we haven't really entered that lunar orbit state vector period. So altitude's going to be a little wonky, but the latitude and longitude will be right on the money. And this computer takes a long time. It's got to integrate our state vector all the way to 69 hours. So the further you are from the entered time, the longer this program takes. We're actually moving at 10 seconds per second. And she's still going. So excuse me one moment. There we go. Yeah, that looks about right. It's a little bit off from the pad, but that's good. That's well within our limits there. Okay, CDR DOF PGA. LMP DOF PGA, and then suit flow valve full flow 4-3 unsuited. Yep, so 2 to cabin flow, 1 to full flow. Looking good. Yeah, right, any day now. Yeah, that program is I like that program. It's pretty cool, and it offers a good view of how the crew well, whoa, look at that. I can't believe we caught that. I was not even trying to catch that. That is the S4B's pre-programmed, it's pacification, but it's the S4B slingshot maneuver. So she's gonna slingshot around the moon and go into solar orbit. Yeah, I didn't even try for that. Oh, oh, the sheer joy when I saw that. That's great. That's great. Honestly, the photography of this so far is better than any run of Apollo 8 that I have ever had. That's great. I was not even trying to catch that. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to see it in the window. Could be... Oh, look at that. We could see it in the sextant. Let's try and track it. Let's try and track it. Let's try and track it. First of all, a photographic proof that I could see it in the sextant. Let's track her. Oh, look at that. That's fantastic. This should have been on the flight plan. Oh my god. Yeah, this should have been on the flight plan. That is so good. And we got the shutdown. Honestly, I think this is purely coincidental that we even got all of this photography. Because we would be up in P-23s right now. Or, well, we'd be done with them by now, but we would have been having a different attitude for P-23. Wow. Okay. That was actually glorious. The best photography of any mission that I've ever had. Yeah, wow, that was crazy. I'm waiting to see Max Q's reaction to that. Oh, that was good. I seriously, I've never caught anything like that before. Uh, 350, 40, let's call that 335. Proceed. CMC auto. Proceed. Yeah, that was so cool. I can't believe we caught that out of the sextant. Those photos are definitely one for the books, that's for sure. Could you imagine if that was in the flight plan in Apollo 8? Like, that would be so cool. Okay, PTC established. I'm gonna actually keep the limit cycle off. When I had limit cycle on Apollo 8, it actually really added to my fuel consumption, so I'm gonna leave her off. Okay, I think we're gonna end it very shortly. We'll probably end it right before our mid-course correction 1 decision. How much, like, how long have we been going? I might actually keep going. Whoa, okay. We're going long on this one. Yeah, going a little long on this one. Honestly, the capture of that booster is venting out of its engine bell. Uh that is reinvigorated me. I've never caught anything like that in the sextant. To see that in such detail with the Earth in the backdrop, completely on accident, not a part of the original flight plan, but very glad it happened. Like, that's something I have never seen. Okay, let's kit us up for high gain antenna. S-band Omni select high gain. Acquire misfin. So plus 80, plus 330. She's going to be nearing the very end of her abilities here. We're about to drop out, so go normal, or narrow, excuse me, and then auto. We will get the dropout, but we'll bring her back on as we swing around. And I do think we want that acquisition to be pointing in the other direction, so let's actually go ahead and just take this yaw and just whoop that around. So when we get our loss of signal, let's go back to manual here. Excuse me, it's not yaw I was worried about, is it? No, it's pitch. We invert pitch. There we go. Invert pitch, and then we will do reflecting yaw. Just a wee bit here. There we go. That looks pretty good for acquisition. Yep. That's about what we want right there.
Translation. Rotation. Translation. Rotation.
Ah, shoot. I accidentally muted the mic. Sorry about that. Well, rip. I've been talking all that time. That's okay. We just did mid-course correction once. Sorry about that. I've been talking all that time, and I didn't realize I accidentally muted my mic. I was wondering why we got to drop off in viewership. Should have paid attention to that, but that's fine. Mid-course correction is not that exciting anyways, so... And naturally, Bank A's nitrogen bottle is lower, used as a valve actuator, and we just used it, so... RCS after this mid-course correction, we're looking very good, ahead of the curve here. All parameters are looking good. Just say the comm system was acting up or something. Yeah. Right. Initiate battery charge on battery B. Oh. Wrong circuit breaker. Don't pull that one. Thank God all of these are dual circuit breaker protected, so if a dumbass like me comes in and pulls that, then, you know, we still got power to the EPS sensor unit. Ooh, that was almost bad. 8, 9, mark. Okay, let's go ahead and get this fuel cell purge. Oop, oh look, an extra minute of purging on that. Excuse me, can't mental math. 310. Okay. Okay. And that completes our mid-course correction procedures. So I think we'll go ahead and end it here. It is pretty much just a bunch of P23s, which of course I agreed to skip from now on because they're epilepsy-inducing for some people. I just showed off one of them, and we will not be doing the rest. I believe that's the S4B down there. Can't tell though. Let's go ahead. Options, labels, vessels. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell, but that is... oh, nope, that's actually a guidance star. Okay. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. Sorry about the mic cutting out. I wonder how long that was going on for. Hopefully not too long. Yeah, thanks. No, I cannot believe that we caught that booster venting in the sextant. Like, that was such a good shot. Yeah, that was really good. Oh, this is an Earth landmark one. We won't be able to see the Earth landmarks from here. That's the problem I run into. The Earth landmark ones are really easy, but I just can't see the landmark markers from this far out. But yeah, I'm hoping you all are gonna have a good night then, and I'll see you all some other time. And I'm glad you guys sticked around, and I'm gonna go ahead and replay that intro and as an outro, since I don't have an outro yet, and then we'll get on to to the rest of our lives. I'll see you all with the next one. Now I'm glad you all stuck around for the Apollo 8 Christmas special extravaganza thing that I've got going on. Some of the best photography that I've ever captured on Apollo 8 so far, like a completely unplanned, not in the flight plan to capture any of that stuff that we captured, but still really, really cool. I'll see you all some other time. Goodbye.